Ole Miss at Kentucky. Okay. So for this one, Kentucky, they won last week against a talented Toledo team, 24-16 in at Kentucky. Um, didn't look great. Zach Calzada might be really, really bad. He's bounced around college football for about 4 or 5 years now. He's landed as a starter in Lexington. 10 for 23 for 85 yards and an interception against a MAC school. Not great for an SEC quarterback. However, on the ground, Dante Dowdle for the Wildcats, 14 carries, 129 yards and a touchdown against Toledo looked great. Um, and Ole Miss last week, they absolutely blew out Georgia State 63-7. uh, it was Austin Simmons' first game as their starter. 20 for 31, 341 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. However, I'm taking the points with Kentucky here. This is we're going to call this one the Arch Manning corollary. If you have if you have a first year starter making his first start on the road, you fade him, and that's what we're getting here with Austin Simmons. He had the home crowd last week, and he had an average Sun Belt program in Georgia State, and they looked every bit the average Sun Belt program. Um, there was really nothing except, Georgia State just did not have the athletes to keep up with them. Every receiver had, 5 yards of separation, on the defensive back. He could, he was essentially pitch and catch for him on offense, which is kind of odd that he threw the 2 interceptions. So I'm looking to fade Austin Simmons on the road here. I think he's gonna have to go into a bit of a hostile environment. Lexington football, not the most lit, but lit enough where it's going to be a problem. Uh, and I like Kentucky to kind of bounce back a little bit here. I think, they got a bit of a wake up call against Toledo. Toledo came up and punched them and they had to punch back. Whereas Ole Miss essentially, rolled to a ridiculous win against a team that honestly isn't anywhere near as talented as they are. So I like Kentucky plus the 10. I don't think I could get to the money line, and I would probably be on the under for the game total. I think this is going to be a lot tighter. Um, than most would think, given the explosive nature of the Ole Miss offense. So, I think Kentucky fans way to kind of ground and pound their way to a victory. They come out, they punch Ole Miss in the mouth, they get the crowd rocking, and their new quarterback throws an interception or two. So, give me Kentucky plus the 10, and I lean to the under here.